Greetings ladies and gents, my name is Hills, the bearded Balkan blabbermouth, and I am discussing, and today I wanted to do something a bit different. I'm not going to complain about a video game news, or I'm not gonna read out of any article or stuff like this to just discuss the new trends and the new controversies that are happening in our gaming community and across the world as well. No, I wanted to do something a bit different. I wanted to just acknowledge what is currently happening in our year 2025, because I do believe that is beginning to become quite revolutionary in terms of several key aspects, in my opinion, that concern gamers and concern the gaming altogether. You see, what is happening right now is that we're seeing an amazing upshift of games that usually don't get to hold a candle over the standard AAA franchises in terms of production, in terms of gameplay, in terms of popularity. And this was kind of true in the before times when a AAA game meant a AAA experience, when you got your content's worth, you had your money's worth, and you had an amazing immersive escapism that was promised by the big game studios that we used to love and adore. However, in the past few years, we have seen a gradual shift from these studios, a gradual decline in the quality that we have received. We had Dragon Age the Vanguard, we had Assassin's Creed Shadows, we had Concord, we had Star Wars Outlaws, all games that should have been successful because they're from big franchises, from big names, but they have all flopped tremendously. Why? Because the people who made these games didn't went into it to make games. They went to it to make money and to just promote us with another DI slop or another bad gaming slop altogether. Or in the case of Dragon Age the Vanguard, to just bring us propaganda in the form of some gaming experience. Subpar, not impressive at all, and for the amount of money that would take to have something much better for much less money. And that's what happened exactly. 2025 has seen the rise of the AA and the indie games. We have seen now several titles that have risen up and have taken over the gaming market, both in popularity and in sales. We have seen a remaster of a 19-year-old game just completely annihilate new and modern games. And we have seen a game created by a single person with probably some help just completely destroy a lot of AAA games, costing hundreds of millions of dollars, both in sales and in popularity. And I am here to honor these games. I'm here to showcase them to you, and I'm here to just tell you that the winds of change are coming, in my opinion. We as gamers have awoken, and I will share with you this in just a little bit. Let us start with what is probably going to be my favorite game for a long time to come, Clair Obscur Expedition 30. This game was made by 33 people, 32 humans and 1 dog. And I would suggest that you do not diminish the role of the dog in the creation of this project. We have a game that allegedly costs around 20 to 30 million dollars, which is 10 times less the budget of a big budget AAA video game, with a 94% review score, still holding a pretty good number on SteamDB as concurrent players, and having a 145k players as a record. It is number 12 currently in top sellers, and according to Game Analytics, it has sold 2.24 on PC alone, and we already know that they have sold 3.3 million copies as they announced yesterday. This is a game that is all net, and this is a game that is so amazing that, in my opinion, this is going to be the game of the decade for the current generation of games. We're moving on to something that just came out, Elden Ring Night Rain. And although the review scores are mixed because some people have some difficulties and some people are not happy with the way the game is progressing, we had an amazing, and I'm going to refresh this, in-game concurrent players currently is 269,000. And if we go to the charts, we'll see that the 24-hour peak was 313,000 players. This is a game that just came out and we're not even into the weekend, ladies and gents. We continue with Schedule 1, which is an absolutely fun and addicting game to play, which had 459,000 players as an all-time peak with a 97% score. This game is done by a studio that is run by a single dude, and it's the first game from the studio. It's an amazing game. Already by Gamealytics scores, it already sold 6 million copies. And if that's not enough for you, I don't know what is. We continue with The Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remaster. This is a game that was 19 years old, and even though technically this is not considered it is still made by a smaller team as a remaster, and it had 216,000 players. And I know what you think: players concurred, players registered. This is not a metric that should be answered. That's why I am including the sales as well, because when you have a above 2 million sales on a 19-year-old game at $50, that probably took them, let's say, 10 to 15 million in my opinion to remake, because you already have the groundwork done. I think this is a very, very nice comparison to have. And I, for one, am someone that is very, very happy to see this, because we see passion projects starting again to prevail over what we have seen in the past 10 years come out as DEI and AAA lazy slop. We have seen so many super expensive games just flop and just give you subpar content just because they think that they can do it. And I will allow myself to just have one article that is from PC Gamer, which is titled "Dragon Age Creator Says EA Execs Thought BioWare Fans Would Eat Whatever Slop They Were Given, since the nerds in the cave would always show up for an RPG because it was an RPG." And as offensive as this title and as insulting as this title might sound to a gamer such as myself and to probably you, they were not that wrong and not that far off, because there was a time that we as gamers do have had this mentality that we would just consume the next project and product from BioWare, from Ubisoft, from all the major studios, because we know that they create games, they create good games, and they create massive games that we would immerse ourselves into, and we would pre-order, we would buy on the spot without even thinking. However, they took advantage of that a long time ago, and they showed us that when we pre-order, when we buy without even knowing what's going on, we might be in for a bad surprise. We have had several flops already in the years past, and last year with Ubisoft's multiple failed projects totaling over, I think, 2 billion euro or $2 billion in failed projects, we have seen that we should not pre-order finally, and that finally caught on as a mantra, and we should see what's going on first, and we should research, we should know our products, we should not just aimlessly and senselessly consume without any thought or reason, because these are our hard-earned money that we give to these companies. And this is what ultimately gave rise to the current AA and indie games that are coming out and are completely smashing the market. These are games that are created with passion. They're not created because a huge studio with 1,000 or 2,000 people is behind it. No, they're small teams, and they're making the game because they want it to be played, and they want to get their creative vision out there. They don't have restrictions, they don't have mandatory DEI inserts, they don't have Sweet Baby Inc. breathing down their necks, they don't have any other, they don't have blue-haired HR departments just saying what is good and what is racist and what is sexist and what is not. No, they have a passion, they project that passion into the canvas, they paint it, and they present it to the world. And the world, which is us, which is consuming the product, we see it for what it is, and it is good, and we consume it wholeheartedly, because that is what we're searching. We're searching for quality, we're searching for a good product for our buck. And because it is getting increasingly more expensive and more difficult to be able to enjoy games, even from the stuff from real life, having something like this, having these AA and indie studios stand up to the ever increasing prices of video games, to the lack of ownership, to every hurdle that these big game studios are trying to throw at us to make us feel inferior and to try to showcase that they own us. They have won our hearts with their decisions to keep the prices low, to keep everything as it was before, and to give us free reign, and most of it ownership of our products, and most of all to be humble and thankful for us, because we are the ones that consume it, and we respond back by buying in droves, by promoting their games, by playing it, and by enjoying that passion that they put in. Clair Obscur 33 is the best example I can give to that, because this is a game that was made with the love and the absolute unfiltered dedication that someone will have. I can just picture how these developers were going at it for 16, 17 hours per day, every day, without stop, just in order to make it, to crunch the numbers, to do what they can with the limited budget that they have, and to make it as best and as beautiful as possible. And they succeeded with that in the most tremendous way possible. And this is the rise, in my opinion, of AA games. We are still getting more and more titles coming along. Some of them are going to be considered AAA, some of them are going to be considered AA, some of them are going to be considered indie. However, they all come from studios that are not so popular, that are smaller, that are just starting out, and they are presenting us with what they have as a passion. We have Stellar Blade coming in just a few days now, which is an amazing game created with passion and created with the intent of pleasing the gamer's experience, one way or another at least. And we have so many games that are going to come in 2025 that will not be from major studios, that when the eventual Game Awards come along, I don't know what's going to happen. They're probably going to be very confused, because they have these big budget games that probably should be there because it's mandatory to have these big gamers, but they'll have quality here, and they are going to have to think really hard if they want to piss off gamers even more, or would they want to be in an actual Game Awards show and actually say what the public is saying and give us the God-given right to vote, and to have our vote have meaning and not just some measly 10% of it. And I don't know what is going to happen, if this trend will continue throughout the next years, or is this going to be some form of momentum thing, and big game studios are probably going to fucking get some sense into it and hire actual talented people and hire actual people that are passionate about gaming and start making good games again. We do want to see our beloved franchise thrive again. I personally am still hopeful for Mass Effect from BioWare. I am hopeful, yes, that maybe an absolute summer childhood moment for me, but I do want to see a good Mass Effect game. I do want to see Elder Scrolls 6. I want to see another good Star Wars game. I want to see a lot of things that I sorely miss for several years now, and I want to see them actually return to form and to have them again start making games for gamers. This is my vision and this is my desire, because if a AA studio, if someone with such limited resources can completely wipe out any competition from big game studios just because they had the passion, imagine what would happen if a studio with the resources reclaims their passion and start making great games once again and make them for us. This is going to be a new, potentially golden age, and I know I'm probably too hopeful for this, and probably none of that is going to happen. However, I do want to be positive about this, and I do want to see gaming return to the best ages that it was before, and that is a fight worth fighting for. But anyways, this is all I have for this video today. It's a little bit of a different video. You're seeing my face much more than in previous videos, but this is something that I wanted to get out of my system, because it is a positive trend that we're seeing, and it is something that I do wish to continue to see happening. I do wish to see more and more good games come along, and to have 2025 be an actual good and massively positive year for gaming. And if we see that, it's going to be an actual good experience. But I want to know what you think down in the comments below. Do you think that this trend will continue? Do you think that AAA studios will finally open their eyes and start at least trying to course correct and start listening to gamers again, or will they continue to their doomed path towards the abyss of corporate unneediness? Please comment down in the section below. If you enjoyed this video, click the like and subscribe button. Consider becoming a member by joining the DiscussThing Guild and helping me become a full-time content creator and helping homeless animals and animals in shelters. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Hilso, this was DiscussThing, and I will see you guys in the next one. Cheers and stay fresh.